and as co-president of National Honor Society, it is my pleasure to welcome everyone here tonight. We are very excited about our program this evening and hope that you will enjoy yourselves and remain to share refreshments with us at the end of the program. On behalf of the current membership of the Homewood Flossmoor chapter of the National Honor Society, I would like to welcome our new members and their families and friends here this evening. I would also like to thank our superintendent, Dr. Mansfield, and our school board members here with us this evening, which include Mr. Steve Anderson, Ms. Debbie Berman, Ms. Jody Scariano, and Mr. Tim Wankus. Your support and guidance is crucial to the success of National Honor Society. Our purpose in being here tonight is to honor and celebrate the induction of our members. Membership in the National Honor Society has been earned by the effective demonstration of the 4 qualities held in high esteem by the organization. Our current officers will take a moment to speak about each of these. Please join me in welcoming our treasurer, Zione Walker, who will now speak about the quality of service.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Zione Walker, and I'm the treasurer of our NHS chapter. I am honored to speak to you at such a wonderful occasion. Congratulations to each and every one of our new inductees. Tonight, your accomplishments in scholarship and character will be honored by your entry into this prestigious honor society. When inducted into NHS, you must not only fulfill the 3 pillars of character, leadership, and scholarship, but you must also meet the service requirement. Service is defined as the act of helping others. The chief purpose of service is that it's a voluntary, meaning not forced action, that improves the life of someone else. Service plays a key role in our NHS community. Service not only functions as a reflection of our own character and moral capacity, but it also helps create a world in which we should and would be proud to live in. A world bettered by every hour we spend making green kits or volunteering at the local pad shelter. Now, in Sikhism, selfless service, or seva, is its own ordained philosophy. The idea is that service should be performed in a way to benefit society, without any expectation of reward or praise for performing the acts. Service does not have to be as big as flying to Ghana and volunteering at a hospital or orphanage. And while both these things are great and help many people, service can also be something as small as donating old clothes or non-perishable foods to your local teen center. Selfless service is not about your own attributes or abilities. Service is about being selfless, using your own abilities and attributes to impart happiness and oftentimes relief into the lives of others. Selfless service isn't about your own convenience and or comfort. It's the willingness to sacrifice and push aside your own personal wants, needs, and feelings in order to give aid, regardless of whether it is sought for or appreciated. NHS strives to foster and grow this trait within its members by starting with introducing them to an abundance of opportunities within our own community in which they can make an impact. Many see community service as a means to an end. Some might see it as a way to get service points, while others may see it as an inconvenient necessity to getting into college. But true community service, selfless service, something that we strive towards in our NHS community, lies in attitude. Now, I know from personal experience that there will be some Saturdays where you would much rather spend sleeping in or catching up on episodes of The Walking Dead than volunteering for 4 hours in an 8:30 track meet. But you must also think of service as a physical representation of your commitment and dedication as a person of this community to this community. When you look back, hopefully by then well rested, you'll realize you did something valuable and worthwhile that positively impacted your fellow man. Remember, as Margaret Mead once said, never doubt that a small group of thoughtful, committed citizens can change the world. Indeed, it's the only thing that ever has. Again, thank you and congratulations to our new inductees. Please help me welcome our co-president, Gabrielle Bello, who will now speak on the qualities of leadership and character.
One of the greatest writers to ever live, Maya Angelou, once said, "You may encounter many defeats, but you must not be defeated. In fact, it may be necessary to encounter the defeats so you can know who you are, what you can rise from, and how you can still come out of it." What she is describing is how to build character. Our character is what defines much of who we are, how we think, why we act, and what we say or do, especially when nobody else is watching. Your character started forming a long time ago, far before attending HF. But for the past 4 years, and with only 23 school days left, I can say that my time in high school has been trying. I have enjoyed many successes, but looking back, it was the failures that have produced in me the most resilience. High school is a place where you refine your sense of what is right and wrong, where you begin to understand that right is right, even if everyone else is against it, and that wrong is wrong, even if everyone else is for it. It is also where one grows in their fortitude to choose. A person of character doesn't take polls to determine the right course of action. When a person in position of leadership who has the responsibility of serving others experiences a disintegration of character, what is the result? When that someone chooses to do wrong, the consequences don't only affect them, but those around them who depended on and trusted that leader. People led astray are often left jaded and bitter. You guys have seen it firsthand. Relationships that have taken years to cultivate can be shattered in an instant. See, education is important, but as Bruce Lee once noted, knowledge will give you power, but character, respect. No one will care how many followers you have or what you have done in the past. Without character, none of that matters. We live in an era in which we cannot trust our news sources because they have lost credibility in the eyes of many due to reliance on selective slanting, exaggeration, and skewing information. Now we remain wary of information in general, no matter the source. So how does that impact how we engage with the world? For many of us, we can speak to being in part of NHS and how it has helped mold us into people of service, leadership, and scholarship. NHS is filled with an abundance of opportunities and resources for you to help those not in such a position of privilege. NHS allows you to pursue those in surrounding communities and across the globe to make it a better place for all. Helping people and bringing positivity to others is really what life is all about. Whether it is bringing a smile to a stranger or laughter to those on hospice care, NHS allows you to immerse yourself in the world of volunteering so that you can gain integrity, honesty, and moral courage. So, to the soon-to-be juniors and seniors, congratulations on being inducted into the National Honor Society. You have been chosen because you display the definition of character and leadership and exemplify it to the fullest. If I can leave you with a piece of seniorly advice, it would be this. Be more concerned with your character than you are with your reputation. Your character is what you really are, whilst your reputation is merely what others think. Since you are qualified to be inducted into this prestigious organization, you are at the top educationally, not just in the Homewood Flossmoor community, but in the entire world. So don't waste that opportunity trying to impress others. And to my fellow seniors, as we are about to embark on a new journey, remember to take the character and leadership qualities you have developed here with you into your next phase of growth. We have all had our character tested throughout these 4 years, but that won't be going away anytime soon. So we must remember to be authentic, for being the best version of yourself is a goal we all need to strive for. Every day we all have to wake up, look ourselves in the mirror, and make that choice. Then we can only hope that you remain proud of the person looking back at you. We have a chance every single day to write the story of our lives, so let's make sure it's a good one that will transform culture, leave an imprint, and hopefully make the world a better place for all. Please help me welcome our secretary, Allie Mangle, who will speak on the quality of scholarship.
What color are the wildflowers in Morocco? I'm sure you could look it up. You could just type it into Google Images, and then you could scroll through the thousands of photos that are available to you at the touch of your fingertips. Or you could read a book that would tell you how the flowers actually got there in the first place. It would talk probably all about continental drift and seeds sailing in the wind or stuck to the fur of animals migrating across the continent. You could even study traditional Moroccan art and analyze the colors present and determine what flowers they could have used to make those hues. And all of these are very interesting approaches, but I don't know about you, but I want to find out for myself. All of you sitting in this room are excellent academic scholars. One of the purposes of this National Honor Society is to recognize and honor you, the students, who have put so much time and effort into your scholastic achievements. However, the process of learning and knowing is not limited to these societal institutions that we call schools and universities. I would like to encourage all of you to consider other ways of understanding the world and becoming great scholars beyond academia and throughout the rest of your lives. For scholarship, in its truest form, simply means a love of learning, not specifically learning about particle physics and macroeconomics and multivariable calculus and all those school subjects that you have to study so hard for and take all those exams and write all those essays, not all of that. Simply learning about the world around you for learning's own sake. In high school and in college, we have to study certain topics because it is required of us, either to graduate or to complete a particular degree program. This alone is not scholarship. For scholarship is pursuing something that you, personally, are interested in, seeking to understand and to learn, not because you have to, but because you want to. We can read the masterpieces of Gabriel Garcia Marquez, but how much more can we discover about his perspective through visiting his beloved Colombia? What can we learn of God, not just through text and through prayer, but also through music? And what can we learn of ourselves and about our humanity, not only through psychology and the human sciences, but through art? And most of all, what can we learn from each other? What can we learn from discussing with each other our faiths and our cultures, our politics, our fear and our hopes, and our values? My point here is that the world is just enormous. There are so many incredible things to life that are to be discovered that you cannot find in the halls and the classrooms of an academic institution. Scholarship is going out there into the world, maybe with nothing but a pen and an open mind, and chasing all of it, chasing your passions, and searching for greater understanding of something that you, personally, wholeheartedly, find captivating and fascinating and awe-inspiring because you want to know more. And you don't have to do it through academics. You can seek understanding through sciences and math and philosophy, but you can also do so through religious devotion, through artistic discovery, through philosophy, through travel to foreign lands, through conversation with people with different values than yourself, through experience of the immense, diverse, beautiful, and incredible world that you are a part of. So scholarship is not just asking what color the wildflowers in Morocco are. It is also going there and finding out for yourself. I would like to now introduce our guest speaker, Dr. Jason Robin, class of 1994. Dr. Jason Robin grew up in Flossmoor and graduated from HF in 1994. While at HF, Dr. Robin was a three-sport athlete, representing the Vikings on the soccer field, the basketball court, and the baseball diamond. He was inducted into the National Honor Society in April of 1993 and graduated in the top 10% of his high school class. After HF, Dr. Robin received his Bachelor in Science in Biology from the University of Illinois in Urbana-Champaign and graduated with a 3.9 GPA with induction to the National Honor Society, Phi Kappa Phi, in 1998. While at the University of Illinois, he was involved in numerous clubs and was the athletic chairman for his fraternity. He spent each summer doing basic research science in hematologic malignancies at the Rush Cancer Center in Chicago. As a fourth-generation Chicagoan, Dr. Robin chose to attend Rush Medical College, where he graduated in 2002 with highest honors in the top 10% of his class. While at Rush, he pursued opportunities in clinical research and published in multiple peer-reviewed journals on cardiovascular disease. Based on his research and academic standing, he was inducted into the prestigious Medical Honor Society, Alpha Omega Alpha. Dr. Robin went on to train at the Northwestern University Feinberg School of Medicine. While at Northwestern, Dr. Robbins continued to be an accomplished researcher, teacher, and clinician. Dr. Robin has been in practice in the North Shore of Chicago since 2009. He is board certified in internal medicine, cardiology, and nuclear medicine, and has clinical professorships at both the Northwestern University Feinberg School of Medicine, as well as the University of Chicago Pritzker School of Medicine. Please welcome Dr. Robin.
I want to thank you for having me tonight. It's so special to come back to Homewood Flossmoor now 25 years later. Listening to you seniors, I have no doubt that I'm going to be working for you guys in probably about 15 or 20 years or so. Dr. Mansfield, thank you very much for having me. Ms. Brennan, Ms. Cherry, I really appreciate the offer to come and speak to you tonight. I want to congratulate each of you on this magnificent achievement. For the sophomores and juniors, it was just 2 or 3 years ago when you were junior high students, probably with some anxiety, knowing that you would soon be matriculating at one of the best and also most rigorous public high schools in the state of Illinois. And now here you are, completing your sophomore and junior years and being recognized not only for your academic accomplishments, but also for your extracurricular talents, leadership, and character. For the seniors, you are about to cross the first of many finish lines, with undoubtedly many wonderful paths ahead, all because of your hard work and dedication to being the best that you can be. I would be remiss without recognizing a group of people in this room that deserve as much praise as the students, and that's the parents, the grandparents, and the guardians who are with you tonight. Whether it be a shoulder to cry on when life has been tough, being there when you have come up short, providing hugs and kisses when you have succeeded, or simply providing you with the genetic jackpot you were all dealt. Without your loved ones, I hope you would agree that probably very few of you would be here this evening. This night is as much about them as it is about you. I think back to April of 1993, exactly 25 years ago this week, and having my dad, who's actually with me here tonight, and my grandparents watching my induction into Homewood Flossmoor's National Honor Society. Dad, you could raise your hand. I felt then, as I do tonight, that any accolades I have been fortunate to come by have been directly related to the support and love I received growing up. I can tell you as a father of 3, parenting does not come with a manual. It is hard. Please remember tonight to give thanks and hug your loved ones that are here tonight to share this special event. Coming back tonight has allowed me to reflect at my time at Homewood Flossmoor. There were so many skills that I developed between 1990 and 1994, which I continue to benefit from today, both personally and professionally. The first would have to be efficient time management. That is one of the reasons that each of you are sitting here tonight. Not only have you been able to succeed in the classroom, but you have done so while being perpetually involved in a multitude of extracurricular activities. I clearly remember the fall of my sophomore year actually playing football for the mighty HF Vikings. Just like today, back in the early 90s, Homewood Flossmoor was always one of the top 5 teams in the state, often ranked nationally in the USA Today. It was very special to try to play on Friday nights. Unfortunately, at 150 pounds, that was my last year of football. Practices would go until 6 o'clock at night on Thursday evenings, and we would have team pasta dinners to carb load and game plan for the Friday night games. Then again, seek East foes such as Thornton, Thornwood, Bloom, and Eisenhower. Hopefully I would get home by 8 p.m. to get a little studying in for geometry and Western civilization tests on Friday, knowing that I would need to be up at 5:30 in the morning for 7-on-7 drills on game day. There are probably some of you that can just recall what you learned in class and go in and ace the test. That was not me. In order to make it through that fall, I had to take my organization skills to the next level, where when I got home, everything was in place and I could learn in just a couple of hours exactly what I needed so that I could still get some reasonable sleep and be ready for the 6 o'clock game the next night. There was no time for television. Fortunately, there was no texting, no Facebook, no Twitter, no Instagram, and to make myself sound very old, this was actually a few years before email came out. Fast forward about 9 years, and I was in my 3rd year of medical school doing an 8-week general surgery rotation. The expectation for the medical students each morning was to see 4 to 5 patients in the hospital who were recovering from recent surgery. It was expected that we would interview each patient to find out if their incisional pain was controlled, assess if they were having any shortness of breath or chest discomfort, whether they were passing gas. That's a good thing post-operatively. Whether or not they were moving their bowels, and of course asking about the caliber of their stool. All great things to wake up to first thing in the morning. We would obtain vitals, temperature, heart rate, blood pressure, oxygen saturation, and then do a full examination on each patient. Then we needed to talk with each of the nurses to find out if there were any major events overnight, and then we needed to write down the morning labs. Finally, we needed to come up with an assessment and plan for each patient for that day. Sounds reasonable, right? Except that all this needed to be completed each morning by 6, so we could share all the information with the residents and the attending physician on rounds, so we could start the next day's surgeries, which would start at 7 in the morning and go until about 7 o'clock that night. Just in time to get home and study for the written and oral tests that would determine our grade at the end of the rotation. Felt a heck of a lot like sophomore year right here at HF. I am sure that those 3 hours of practice, followed by pasta dinners and 6 a.m. 7-on-7 drills, were paramount in getting me ready for 8 weeks of general surgery, those 8 weeks of general surgery bliss. Happy to have those behind me. Next, I think about when pursuing your goals, to do so with passion, and remember to think 1 and sometimes 2 steps ahead. As I mentioned earlier, when I was sitting where you are 25 years ago, my grandfather, who was my rock, was sitting next to me. 2 months later, he passed away due to complications from congestive heart failure. What he always talked about during the last year of his life was wanting to see me graduate from high school. He came up 12 months short. The night he passed away, I became determined to be a cardiologist and make a life of treating and curing heart disease. I truly feel that to be the best you can be, you need passion to serve as your catalyst. Once you have a goal, organize how you're going to get there. That's what I'm referring to when I say think 1 or 2 steps ahead. As a senior, HF had just started offering AP biology. Unlike today, where AP classes are a dime a dozen, there were few and far between then. I remember discussing with other students, why were they taking AP biology? Most were taking the class so they could get college credits or maybe pass out of freshman year biology. So I did some investigating and found out that at the University of Illinois, Biology 120, which was the first of 3 semesters of biology, which pre-meds were required to take, was considered to be one of the more challenging and most important courses in the pre-med curriculum. I also found out that biologic science, or biology, made up about 1/3 of the score on the MCAT, which is the SAT or ACT equivalent to get into medical school. Having a strong background in biology was incredibly important to do well in this test, which is probably one of the 2 most important factors in getting into medical school, aside from maybe your grades. I asked myself, as a senior, will I learn biology better if I take it once or take it twice? So I took AP biology here at home at Flossmoor, and actually intentionally did not take the AP exam. I went to U of I, retook biology, and actually breezed through it while watching other very smart and dedicated pre-med struggle. Having seen it once already with Mr. Reynolds allowed me to not only get an A during my freshman year, but probably more importantly allowed me to really solidify my background in biology, which was extremely beneficial in how I performed on the MCAT, and in turn had a huge role in getting me into medical school. So my message to you, if possible, think where you want to be in 5 years from now, and set up your curriculum to give you the best chance to be there. I certainly do not want you to think that academics were a breeze for me. I had to work very hard and often needed extra help. You are all exceptionally bright students. There's no disputing that. However, I can promise you that academically and professionally, you will have times where things just don't click. Do not be bashful about asking questions or getting extra help when you are in college, graduate school, or professionally. There's almost always going to be someone who understands something just a little bit better than you. In college, whether you go to a Big Ten school with 40,000 students or a small liberal arts school, your professors are going to have office hours where you can go in for extra help or sometimes just discuss a topic in more depth. I can't begin to tell you how valuable those 15 extra minutes can be. That approach of asking others for help has continued to serve me well professionally. Even when I see a diseased state that I have taken care of dozens of times, it has always served me well to pick up the phone and call colleagues around the city, country, and sometimes around the world to see if they have any more insight. Perhaps one of the core areas of medicine that continues to stimulate me every day is that every day I'm learning something new. I'm learning something in more depth. If you want to be humbled on a daily basis, medicine is a great field, because just when you think you know something cold, you find out that there's always more to the puzzle. Without any hesitation, I can say that my love for learning started right here at home at Flossmoor. I look into the audience tonight, and I see the same diversity that I remember from several decades back. That is one of the unique aspects that makes this high school so wonderful. We come from so many different backgrounds. We are racially, ethnically, and socioeconomically different. Some of you are first-generation Americans, and others have ancestors who came here over a century ago. It has served me so well as a physician being able to relate to and understand where people come from, because this has such an impact on personality and behavior. Whether it be a patient or colleague, developing good relationships requires an understanding of others' needs, experiences, and expectations. And much of this relies on an understanding of where people have come from, how they were raised. Some of this is intuition, and some requires asking questions. That being said, regardless of what profession you go into, being able to relate to all types of personalities is going to be one of the most important variables to your success. You can have an IQ of 140, a photographic memory, run a 4.3 40-yard dash like Dr. Mansfield still can, or be a musical genius, but without the development of interpersonal skills, it will be very difficult to reach your maximum potential. Having your roots at HF has already given you a huge leg up, so thank your parents again for raising you in such a wonderfully diverse community. The last area I wanted to touch on is breathing. Seems like the most simplistic tip of all. It's actually, in my opinion, one of the most difficult things to practice, especially for a group like you. You all have exceptional talents, and the world is truly your oyster. You have already proven that you have what it takes to be successful. But I want you to all pause for a moment and define success in life. Is it getting into the top law school, making money, fame? For many years, I would have defined these types of variables as markers of success. But I hope that you will see that what a successful life is a life of inner peace and happiness, and that is truly the golden ticket. What is going to bring you this? In my opinion, it's the ability to hit the pause button and just breathe from time to time. Appreciate the moment. My soccer coach in high school, Dennis Fink, in the regional championship, down 3-1 at half against Bloom, who was the number 2 team in the area at the time, asked us as a team, what is introspection? We looked at one another thinking now is not the time for a philosophical discussion on the meaning of life. At the time, I'm sure he was trying to have us consider what we could each do individually to be the best player we could be and come out of that game with a victory. Now I think of the term differently. I think of it in a broader sense. Look into yourself to explore how you can find happiness. Practice mindfulness. This is not something I learned as a medical student. It's something I still struggle with every day, both professionally and as a parent. Mindfulness is a mental state achieved by focusing your awareness on the present moment. Life is a marathon, not a sprint, and none of us are guaranteed a tomorrow. In order to make it through this marathon, you need to be able to take time for yourselves, breathe, and enjoy every day. Maintain friendships, travel, sip the lemonade, in a few years, some wine. Not tonight. Smell the roses. Life is beautiful, but only if you take time to appreciate its beauty. I'm not telling you to not try and be financially secure, an actor on Broadway, or the best neurosurgeon. But at the end of the day, what really matters is that you find inner happiness. And if you have this, you have achieved success. I am now 41. I have put the pedal to the metal for most of my life. You have done the same, and that's why you are here. It wasn't until recently that I realized the importance of taking breaks and refocusing energy and just breathing. Again, please hug your loved ones, be good to yourselves, and I want to leave you with the sincere congratulations on this well-deserved honor. And with that, we are! We are! We are! Thank you very much.
have a gift. We have a gift of recognition that we would like to present to our speaker, Dr. Jason Robin.
Some grays and some recession of the hairline, but I guess I'm okay with that. Mindfulness.
This poster is now part of a poster series of our spectacular alumni that you can see around campus all over the halls.
All right. So my name is Mrs. Brennan, for those of you who do not know me. And I would just like to comment that it has been my sincerest pleasure sponsoring NHS this year. And I am truly honored for our inductees to be inducting you this evening. So I want to take a moment to say, or ask, what is NHS and why are we all here this evening? So if you were to look on the NHS website, they would tell you that NHS is the nation's premier organization that was established to recognize outstanding high school students since 1921. So we're almost 100 years in. My officers have already discussed the 4 pillars. They've discussed service, character, scholarship, and leadership, and they will be presenting the candles that represent each of those in a moment. For NHS, I would like to say that it creates enthusiasm for scholarship, stimulates a desire to render service, to promote leadership, and develop character in the students of secondary schools. So on a personal note, I just want to comment on the caliber of our students that are sitting here this evening. They are very, very high caliber. I have been here since 2005, and I want to say that the students in this room, they demonstrate not just scholarship, but they have blown me away this year with their work ethic, their compassion, and their initiative. The students in this room are the students that all of our other students look up to, respect, use as positive role models, and admire. They also have had a huge influence on our community this year and in years past. I look forward to working with our NHS students next year and for years to come. So before we continue, I would like to take a moment to recognize one of our graduating seniors, Chloe Walls. Now, we can all tell from this applause that Chloe's classmates and peers know that she deserves this recognition. So I did prepare a little statement for Chloe, and we are going to listen to every word because she deserves it. So, first, I would like to present you with the distinction of working with the greatest number of volunteer hours this school year. And so I'm just going to comment on some of the things that Chloe has done. She has made food packs for children in developing countries through Feed My Starving Children. She supported Spanish-speaking parents raising their first-generation American children through Spanish NHS. And she has engaged children in science projects at the Adler Planetarium. However, of all of her pursuits, Chloe is the most proud of the time that she has spent at Advocate Christ Hospital, and that is what she holds dear to her heart the most. At Christ, Chloe not only works with cancer survivors and the families of post-surgery pediatric patients, but she also completes all of the tasks that are necessary but not necessarily glamorous. When I spoke with Chloe last week, one of the things that really stuck out to me is that I was expecting her to tell me that she was doing all of this service at Christ because she was going to pursue a career in medicine. And that actually was not the case. She wants to be an engineer. And when she explained to me why she spent her time at Christ, I found that answer to be even more meaningful than the one that I was expecting. Chloe had explained to me that she comes from a legacy of families that are respiratory therapists, nurses, and paramedics. And she said, I just simply enjoy patient care and being around people who save lives. So I want to go ahead and end this brief statement with a quote from one of Chloe's essays. And she's speaking about her family's influence and especially her mother. And she said, quote, hearing her talk about her experiences shows me how much she values the bonds she has formed and the lives she has changed. Being raised by such considerate people, the importance of respecting the situations and feelings of others was instilled in me at a young age. The compassion that my family has passed down to me reflects in my views and deeds on equity, inclusion, and diversity. And I believe that in that statement and in everything that Chloe has done this year, that this encapsulates what our organization stands for and everything that all of our other students have worked hard for. So thank you very much, Chloe. And so now I would like to introduce Dr. Anderson. So Dr. Anderson and I are going to prepare the gold cords. So seniors, it is your time. And you may all stand. I was expecting a little bit more excitement. I saw some fist palms. Is Dr. Mansfield going to help too? Wonderful. Okay, so Dr. Mansfield and Dr. Anderson and I will be starting to hand out the cords. So my seniors, if you could please follow Ms. Smith. You're involved. you for the lovely music, and we have actually 2 more groups of seniors to recognize. So for my senior NHS members that played through the entire presentation, if you could please come up and get your cords. And then also our exec board members who already spoke with us this evening, they will go and get their cords now as well.
We'd like to thank Mr. B.J. Ingrave and the HF Symphonic Strings for their performance. We will now welcome this year's candidates into National Honor Society. Will the new members please stand and file into the aisles? The 4 qualities possessed by National Honor Society members are encompassed by the candle of knowledge. This candle symbolizes the eternal light of knowledge. It is the quest for knowledge that we are trying to encourage and develop in the 4 qualities of the National Honor Society. Through character, we are trying to foster knowledge of self-confidence in our personal beliefs and values. Through scholarship, we are trying to develop a knowledge and desire for continued learning throughout life. Through leadership and service, we are trying to encourage knowledge of social responsibility to others and their needs, as well as the courage to stand up for our own beliefs. It is this light of knowledge that we pass on to our new members of the National Honor Society of the Homewood Flossmoor High School chapter. The inductees will now recite the pledge after me. I pledge to uphold the high purposes of the National Honor Society. To which I have been elected. I will maintain and encourage high standards of character. Scholarship. Leadership. And service. As we call your name, please come forward and accept your membership certificate.
Tremone Tate.
Kyle Allen.
Kristen Slaughter.
Sabrina Triconi.
Peyton Rigler.
Lauren Donaire.
Kendall Davis.
Jack Williams.
Stephen Haydich.
Jonathan Kariakis.
Haley Sawyer.
Hyra Stanley.
Ava Jones.
Ariel Davis.
Luke Lassam.
Alex Benitez.
Jalen Stennis.
Janielle Roach.
Corey Hoekstra.
Kelsey West.
Deja Johnson.
Jasmine Sagoon.
Adriana Assam.
Kayla Rath.
Ashley Grace Durecki.
Gabrielle Laws.
Lindsay Coleman.
Jasmine Kelly.
Emily Pierce.
Ella Bowman.
Rebecca Brandt.
Corella Michaelis.
Allison Ruffalo.
Raina McCoy.
Emily Robertson.
Anaya Voggs.
Deja Purnell.
Brittany Bell.
For the rest of the names, if you wouldn't mind holding your applause to the end just so everybody's name gets to be heard. Thank you. Peyton Gibson.
Adriana Alami.
Mia Lanier.
Micaiah Jenkins.
Haley Rampage.
George Waddell.
Zach Luter.
Olivia Stratmeyer.
Maggie Bauer.
Duffy Kartstrom.
Kevin Berner II.
Andrew Hansen.
John Port.
Louis Berman.
John Hertel.
Gia Troche.
Eniola Oyefeso.
Matson Schneider.
Alex Suzender.
Amber Dowd.
Kevin Colley.
Juliette Benjamin.
Olivia Fortman.
Tiana Sharp.
Jacob Goldberg.
Callahan Smith.
Donald Crocker.
John Russell.
Nicholas Amu.
Isaac Latman.
Samari Meeks.
Brianna Bridges.
Lena Fantroy.
Kennedy Jones.
Ann Cheney.
Aria Simpson.
Gloria Aiko.
Owen Creasy.
Jake Lutz.
Nehemiah Key.
Malik Perry.
Jordan Alfred.
Carrington Calhoun.
Christopher Collins.
Jalen Duffin.
Adekemi Kasali.
Alicia Adams.
Boaz Epperson.
Sierra Harris.
Macy Campen.
Brooke Deckelman.
Grace Keir.
Okay. Mia Profdick.
Ty Schunkweiler.
Margaret Velker.
Allison Stern.
Miles Walker.
Morgan Murphy.
Alexandra Van Voorhees.
Evan Abram.
Jalen White.
Udo Anadogu.
Shelby Akridge.
Lily Donkel.
Caroline Johnson.
Faith Denny.
Jasmine Duffy.
Asia Gardner.
Destiny Montgomery.
Hayden Henry.
Michael Gruff.
Kyle Butler.
Jonathan Bodine.
Nora Ryan.
Matthew Turnquest.
Callista Stilts.
Marcus Ochoa.
Jide Babuala.
And finally, Sean Roby.
Congratulations and welcome to the Homewood Flossmoor High School chapter of the National Honor Society.
right, thank you, officers. Before we conclude, I would like to give special thanks to Gail Smith, BJ Angrav, Ron Roden, Dr. Mansfield, Dr. Anderson, and all of our school board members. Their help was crucial to making this evening a success. Will the new inductees, your actual certificates are in the cafeteria. So we will go ahead and we will conclude the evening's program. And congratulations. Thank you for coming. And you are invited for refreshments in the lobby and to also obtain the certificates with your name.